images that haunt us. Images that should haunt us. To leave an indelible mark on our conscience to remind us each time the price they paid. So when images like these come in, no matter how few, no matter how small the number,
आज ये आएंगे जब इस तरह से मालिक हमारा भिजवा रहा है, इसी तरह से मालिक ने बताया तू टेंशन मत लो, वहाँ जा 3 मिनट रहो, अगस्त में फिर आना है, मैं व्यवस्था कर दूंगा तो आ जाइए सब।
फ्लाइट में पहले बैठी हैं?
नहीं, पहली बार बैठ रहे हैं।
डर लग रहा है?
अब बैठेंगे तब तो पता चलेगा।
अच्छा, सोचा था कोई आपके लिए फ्लाइट कर देगा जाने के लिए, क्योंकि यहाँ तो ट्रेन भी मुश्किल से मिल रही थी।
नहीं, आप लोग का कृपा है।
one must, one should talk about those who made it all possible for the very few. Top story on To The Point tonight. Now, two of those who made it possible are on the show later on this evening, but I want to quickly dip into the latest news break that's coming in right on top of To The Point. Well, it seems Delhi has reported its biggest COVID spike to date. Till date, Delhi had not breached the 1,000 mark. It has today. Delhi stands at 1,024 cases positive registered in one single day alone. This is just the import of numbers that has come in the last 24 hours. The total COVID tally of Delhi has now breached the 16,000 mark. Total cases in Delhi now stand at 16,281. 13 deaths have been reported, which is the maximum number of deaths ever reported in the last 24 hours in the national capital. All right, so breaking news continues to filter in. At a time when we are opening out, Haryana has decided that it will look at sealing borders with Delhi once again. The latest which is coming in is that Haryana will seal all borders connected to the national capital. The reason for this is that 80% of cases in Haryana apparently are in districts that share borders with Delhi. And the health minister has decided that once again, mind you, it had happened again, once again, all borders connected to Delhi, Faridabad, Gurgaon border, Gurgaon, Delhi border, Sonipat, Haryana border, all these borders would be sealed starting 12 a.m. tonight. Essential services would be allowed, it seems. We're going to get in more and a larger understanding of that, but let's listen in to the health minister of Haryana.
आज भी मैंने सुबह आदेश जारी किए हैं कि दिल्ली के साथ लगते ज़िलों की बॉर्डर्स पर बिल्कुल भी ढिलाई ना की जाए, क्योंकि वो 30-30, 40-40 गुड़गांव में बढ़ रहे हैं, 25-25, 30-30 फरीदाबाद में बढ़ रहे हैं। हमारे जितने कोरोना के केस हैं 80% उन ज़िलों से हैं जो ज़िले दिल्ली के साथ सटे हुए हैं। तो इसलिए दिल्ली के साथ हम अपनी बॉर्डर पूरी तरह से सील करके रखेंगे।
All right, so the Health Minister Anil Vitt saying that all borders with Delhi will be sealed, but we're trying to get in more information whether this will include essential services or not. Last time, Haryana had made a very harsh decision, but they said it was for the better of the state, that they had even stopped all essential services from crossing the border. Even doctors were not allowed. All right, that's the latest news break coming in. Haryana sealing all borders with Delhi starting midnight tonight. With that, I want to quickly move on. Now, at the initiative of alumni of the National Law School, 180 migrants from Jharkhand stranded in Mumbai for over 2 months due to the lockdown flew back to Ranchi on a special chartered flight. The migrants are a happy lot, some of them taking their first flight home. But in all of this, when there is so much news of misery coming in, when we see our migrants walking back home cramped in trucks, getting on trains which are delayed on days, this is possibly a very small silver lining to that story. Very, very small, but still it's there.
We have seen moving images of migrants taking never-ending journeys home. But there are some stories with a much happier start and ending. Waiting to board a chartered flight home at Mumbai airport, these are 180 migrants who were stranded for 2 months, let alone taking a flight. They had never seen the inside of an airport.
फ्लाइट में पहले बैठी हैं?
नहीं, पहली बार बैठ रहे हैं।
डर लग रहा है?
अब बैठेंगे तब तो पता चलेगा।
अच्छा, सोचा था कोई आपके लिए फ्लाइट कर देगा जाने के लिए, क्योंकि यहाँ तो ट्रेन भी मुश्किल से मिल रही थी।
नहीं, आप लोग का कृपा है।
ठीक है, खुशी है वापस जा रही है? हाँ,
जाएंगे वापस, खुशी है।
मुझसे लोग को खाने पीने का भी जो नहीं, काम चलेगा तभी तो खिला पाएंगे, नहीं काम चलेगा तो कैसा खिला पाएंगे सर? सर परिवार है, इधर रूम का देना पड़ता है, भाड़ा देना पड़ता है, इधर किराया मांग रहा है, तो मालिक बोलता है 2 महीना 3 महीना देख लिया, अभी कितना देगा, इसके लिए हमको जाना पड़ रहा है सर।
Their dream of going home took wings, thanks to the generosity of the alumni of National Law School of India University in Bengaluru, who along with some NGOs arranged air tickets to Ranchi for the 180 migrants.
We've organized 180, which is a full plane load, and what actually drove us to it is that, we thought about, we were trying to think about an efficient way of trying to get people home safely and as quickly as possible, and then this opportunity came about as in somebody had a brainwave amongst us.
After landing in Ranchi, the migrants wore smiles which narrated their relief. After all, they took just 2 hours to cover the distance which the less lucky ones would have taken weeks on foot.
प्रियंका मैडम जी, जी ठीक है जी, उनसे बात हुई? उनसे बात हुई, हाँ। वो फिर मेरा करवाए, बहुत हेल्प उसने की, उनका मैं थैंक यू बोलना चाहता हूँ उनको।
Amid the tales of misery and misfortune, these happy smiles stand out and reaffirm our faith in humanity. With Pankaj Upadhyay and Satyajit, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, there's a similar story which has come in right at the border of Delhi and Haryana. Pappan Gehlot, a farmland owner in Delhi's Narela, arranged flight tickets for his 10 workers to Patna. Gehlot, a medium-level farm, owns 4 acres of land, farms mushroom, but gives a very, very important message through what he's done. Listen in to one of his employees.
आज ये आएंगे जब इस तरह से मालिक हमारा भिजवा रहा है, इसी तरह से मालिक ने बताया तू टेंशन मत लो, वहाँ जा, 3 महीने रहो, अगस्त में फिर आना है, मैं व्यवस्था कर दूंगा, तो आ जाइए सब।
All right, I want to cut across right now. I take great heart in welcoming on the show Priyanka Roy, NLSIU alumni, and Pappan Singh Gehlot. Both of them have made this possible. Priyanka, taking off from what, that little story that we showed there. Priyanka, madam ne bahut help kiya. I'm sure you take a lot of heart in that. But I want to ask you, how did you all get together? What happened? How did you make this happen? That today, over 100 migrants have been sent back to Ranchi on a flight.
Preeti, I'd like to start by saying thank you for covering the effort. I'd also further like to add that it's not Priyanka madam ne help kiya. It really took a village and an army to get this show on the road. There were lots of us who worked tirelessly to make this happen. So kudos to the entire NLS alumni network. We got it done in a very short period of time. I just wanted to start by saying that. How did we come upon this? Like I said, and I said before, look, the plight of these stranded workers has really sort of taken the whole nation, by shock. That actually governments could be callous enough to completely ignore citizens in this way. Pandemics may come and go. Calamities may continue to happen. It is the foremost duty of any government to take care of its citizens. And that's the first and foremost duty. We elect them so that they protect us. while private citizens will gladly help each other, that cannot be a model all the time. So all of this disaster notwithstanding, this is something that the government needs to look at. Having said that, of course, we worked with 2 state governments to get this off the ground. There was Jharkhand involved being the receiving state. There was Maharashtra involved being the dispatching state. And clearly both states have, facilitated what is required of them, because the first flight landed successfully this morning, I'm happy to say. And the reason that we thought of flying people is that because we've been reading, in the news, everyone's covering it, that while there are private citizens, no doubt, who are trying to get people from point A to point B by bus, all these efforts are commendable. But, in getting to that point A and point B, there are like 100 points in between where there's no control. Buses get delayed, train gets delayed, start out at one point but don't get to their final destination. They put through humiliation, they put through days of waiting, people start walking, and it's just heart-wrenching, really.
Right.
Which is why we're like, is there any other way to get them across? And one of us had this brainwave that, listen, why can't we fly them? It's also a matter of dignity. They should be given the opportunity to reach home in a safe, as quickly as possible. They shouldn't have to scrounge and scrape to do that. It's
How did you raise the money, Priyanka?
So we raised the money from within the National Law School network, which is why also we were able to do it in record time. We raised funds practically in a span of 2 days. And we kept it within the network because obviously for us, it's the most reliable network. So many of us are friends and have known each other for years.
Right. So you all contributed and you made this happen. Priyanka, will you stay with me? I want to bring into this conversation this one, farmer, Papan Singh Gehlot, is joining me. Now, he has paid for 10 of his employees who've been working on his mushroom farm, and he's paid for them to go back to Patna. पप्पन जी, बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे जुड़ने का, हमसे बात करने का. पप्पन जी, आपने कैसे सोचा ये कि मैं पैसा दूंगा, इनको ट्रेन में नहीं जाने दूंगा, ट्रक में नहीं बैठने दूंगा, पर इनको हवाई जहाज में भेजूंगा?
देखिए मैडम, मेरा सीजनल मशरूम का काम है. मैं मशरूम की खेती करता हूँ गांव तिगीपुर, दिल्ली में. तो मेरे पास 20 अगस्त से लेबर आनी शुरू हो जाती है. 1 सितंबर तक मेरे यहाँ लेबर आ जाती है. इस बार 48 मेरे पास लेबर थी. तो 1 सितंबर को 48 आ गई थी. और तो मार्च के एंड में हमारा सीजन ऑफ हो जाता है. मार्च में मतलब कम हो जाती है मशरूम. तो कुछ लेबर तो लॉकडाउन से पहले मेरी बाई ट्रेन निकल चुकी थी. मेरी 10 लेबर का काम 28 मार्च को खत्म हुआ. वो लॉकडाउन में फंस गए जी. तो उसके बाद जो ये पैदल रोड पे निकले लेबर, वो तो अलग कहानी है. आपने सवाल किया कि फ्लाइट का मन में क्यों आया. वो 2 महीने मैंने इनको खाना पानी रहने का सब इंतजाम मैंने किया हुआ था. उसके बाद कुछ लोग लेबर इलीगल रूप से या लीगल रूप से भी परमिशन लेके बाई रोड भी जा रही थी, कोई ट्रक पे लद के जा रहे थे. उसकी मैंने अपने लेबर को सलाह नहीं दी, क्योंकि उसमें डेली आपके न्यूज चैनल पे भी आता था, अखबार में भी आता था, 45 से 50 लेबर डेली के बाई रोड एक्सीडेंट मर रहे थे. उसके बाद श्रमिक ट्रेन का बारी आई. श्रमिक ट्रेन में ऑनलाइन रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया और हमारी लेबर के फोन में 23 मार्च तक कोई मैसेज नहीं आया. जो और ट्रेन चली उनकी बुकिंग की मैंने एसी में भी कराने की कोशिश की. तो 15 जून से पहले मेरी लेबर का जो है वो टिकट नहीं हो पा रहा था. इसी बीच में हमारे उड्डयन मंत्री हरदीप पुरी जी ने देशी घरेलू उड़ानों की घोषणा कर दी. 25 तारीख से घरेलू उड़ानें शुरू हो जाएंगी. फिर मेरे दिल में ख्याल आया एकदम से कि मैं अपने मजदूरों को बिल्कुल प्यार से सम्मानजनक तरीके से विदा करूंगा तो बाई फ्लाइट भेजूंगा। तो फ्लाइट के टिकट मैंने उसी दिन अपने एक ट्रेवल एजेंट है उसको फोन करके कहा कि भाई जितनी जल्दी हो सके मेरे फ्लाइट के टिकट करा दो। तो उसने मेरे को 28 तारीख के
तो आज
सुबह 6 बजे
आज सुबह निकल गए। बस मैं आप दोनों से एक ही सवाल पूछूंगी। प्रियंका, लास्ट just one question before I let both of you go. With what you said, with what even Papan Gehlot ji said here, people need to hear, especially those in governance need to hear. What's the message that you want to give out by what you and your batchmates did, or the alumni network did? What's the message that you and your network, the alumni network, wants to give out to those in power who can actually facilitate this faster?
Yes. So the is that governments have to acknowledge their primary responsibility to look after their citizens. They have to make policies that enable and have funds available for relief work when it is required. Sure, private citizens can pitch in and can help, and it's particularly in times like this, we completely understand that governments are overburdened, but there has to be facilitation. There cannot be confusion where state borders get closed without notice, or there's confusion of communication from the center. So government needs to take cognizance, and at time like this, cooperation is absolutely essential.
All right, Priyanka, appreciate you joining us. Papan ji, बस यही सवाल आपसे पूछूंगी। एक तो बताइए आप, क्योंकि अभी मंदी है, लॉकडाउन है, ज्यादा कुछ बिजनेस नहीं हो रहा है, पर आपसे पूछूंगी, आपने पैसा अपने आप ही पे किया? कितना पे किया है आपने? क्योंकि आप कह रहे हैं आपका फार्म भी छोटा सा फार्म है, ज्यादा आमदनी नहीं है, और क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
देखिए मैडम, ये तो जो किया है मैंने मानवता के नाते किया है, और बाकी किसानों की क्या है हालत इस देश में है, लेकिन किसान फिर भी दिलदार है। तो रही खर्च की बात, वो कुछ मैडम जी गुप्ती रहने दो ना, तो फिर मैं बता दूंगा तो वो एहसान हुआ ना मजदूरों पे।
बिल्कुल मेरी गलती जी।
तो पर्दा रहने दो। हाँ
जी, चलिए, बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने का। एंड थैंक यू प्रियंका, एंड थैंक यू गहलोत जी कि आप जुड़े हमसे बात की। Because if you look at the visuals that have been playing, if you look at all the stories, the abject human suffering that we've seen over the last 65 days now, this is very, very small. It's hardly anything which would ever be remembered, but it is a contribution which we needed to honor today. Thank you both for joining us. Meanwhile, I want to shift focus. Well, India is opening up, even though the numbers are rising. And as India begins learning to live with the virus, and parts of the country partially mulling ideas to open up schools, a recent survey has found out that 92% of parents, most of you out there, are very, very reluctant to send their kids back to school. Disinfecting shoes, disposing masks, robot scans. That's how China reopened some of its schools after the coronavirus shutdown. In India, some are making their own modest efforts, like this school in Ranchi, preparing to reopen partially from June 1st.
सिटिंग एरिया में डायगोनली है, डायगोनली बच्चे बैठेंगे, 1 मीटर से ज़्यादा की डिस्टेंस हम लोग रखेंगे उसमें, और सैनिटाइजर की व्यवस्था है, मास्क की व्यवस्था है, ग्लव्स की व्यवस्था है, सैनिटाइजर की हम लोग मशीन भी रखे हैं। हर रूम को क्लास से पहले और बाद में हम लोग सैनिटाइज करें।
Some schools might be ready to restart, but parents aren't. For them, the schools in the country aren't really combat ready to keep young students safe from the virus attacks.
I'm not happy with school reopening June, July. At least they must postpone till September, because Chennai city every day it's going 300, 500, and as of now for 40 to 55 days I have not even let my daughter to go to the next shop also.
Leena Thomas isn't alone. Parents overwhelmingly are in no rush to send their children back to school. With 12,000 respondents, an online survey felt the pulse. It found 92% of Indian parents are unwilling to send their children back to school immediately upon reopening. 21% would prefer a break of another 6 months. 15% would favour homeschooling as an option for at least a year.
People cheer them, cheer them!
Children's social life also goes for a toss. The survey found parents are hesitant to send them to birthday parties or movies anytime soon. With work from home becoming a cornerstone of conversations during virus lockdowns, issues around work-life balance are another concern.
Even children, once schools reopen, are going to be following some sort of a shift system. Not everybody is going to go to school all day long. So instead of going to 8 hours of school, they probably will go there maybe 4 hours or 5 hours of school, and the rest of the work has to be done at home.
There aren't yet any central guidelines about reopening schools at the national level. But with the COVID dust, which doesn't appear to be settling anytime soon, parents prefer to stay with the abrupt transition the virus has brought about to educate and work, at least for now. With Shalini Lobo, Bureau Report, India Today. All right, joining me right now is Ms. Nalini Rama Lakshmi, founder and Managing Director, Parent Circle. Ma'am, thank you for joining us. Now, this survey that you have conducted, what were the parameters that you conducted it on? And was it just, one particular state, or was your sample size spread out across all the states in the country?
We sent out a survey for parents all across India. And we got a response from 12,000 parents, over 12,000 parents. And the response came from all the different states. It was not limited to one state. It was evenly distributed all across India. We got responses from both urban areas as well as second-tier cities. So it was quite a comprehensive survey from that.
All right. Okay, ma'am. You say there was, equal weightage given in terms of sample size to each state. What was your sample size? Because if I'm not wrong, it was 12,000. Now, in that sample size, what were your key questions that you asked them to gauge the mood of your sample?
Yeah, the sample size was 12,000 parents all across India. And we surveyed them based on 3 different areas. The first one was on once the lockdown was over, were they ready to send their children back to schools? Were they ready to send them to participate in various extracurricular activities, sports, etc.? The second part of the survey focused on the social behavior of children. Will their parents allow children to go out and play with friends? Will they allow them to go to birthday parties, and etc.? And the third part of the survey focused on the lifestyle. Were parents willing to send their children to malls and restaurants and cinema theaters, etc.? So these were the 3 key areas that we surveyed parents on.
Ms. Rama Lakshmi, what were your findings? Because, what I'm going through and what I looked at is that overwhelming 92% have told you that no, we're not ready in any time soon to actually send our kids back to school.
Yes, our survey was interesting that we found that 92% of parents were reluctant to send their children back to school as soon as the schools reopened. They would rather wait and see what the situation is before they send them to school. And also when it came to restaurants and malls, etc., they were actually reluctant to send their children, take them out for almost the rest of the year, right? And that they have a big apprehension about exposing their children to the COVID virus and interacting with other people. And the same was true for even birthday parties and mixing with friends. They were quite apprehensive even in those areas. That's what our survey showed.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Nalini Rama Lakshmi. What at least your survey has found out has made that very clear, that there is this huge apprehension. Even India is opening out. Certain states are mulling to open schools soon. But the state administration might look at opening schools soon, but the parents are in no way interested in sending their kids back to school anytime soon. 92% of that survey, and the sample size is 12,000 parents interviewed across all the states in the country said not happening, not going to send my kid back to school anytime soon. With that, it's a wrap on To The Point, but we do leave you with these heartening visuals because you have an 18-day-old baby girl discharged from a hospital in Mumbai after battling COVID-19. She's probably the youngest patient to defeat the novel virus. Despite her mother testing negative for COVID-19 within 3 hours of birth, the baby started to show symptoms. But now, that little baby girl has totally recovered and has returned back home safe and sound. Thank you all for joining us. We'll of course see you tomorrow. Have a fabulous night. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.